What if turn-based combat, one of the most beloved traditions in JRPG history, was never meant to be the identity of the genre at all? What if it was a ghost? A leftover shape carved by technical limitations, then kept alive by nostalgia, comfort, and pure genius game design? Because in 2026, JRPGs aren't just changing styles, they're changing physics. No loading screens, no battle transitions, no separate combat arenas. Just one world that never stops. And that's forcing a question that makes people mad on both sides. Did JRPGs evolve, or did they abandon what made them special? Today we're going to trace the shift from turn-based menus to real-time action through 5 big ideas. First one, the ghost of technical limitations. Why turn-based was a smart solution, not just artistic choice. Number 2, Westward expansion and global appeal. How real-time combat aligns with international growth. Number 3, the high stakes of Kinetic spectacle. The psychological shift from commander to warrior. And 4, the hybrid compromise and tactical loss. Why hybrid exists, and why both camps feel unsatisfied. Number 5, the future of role-playing identity. Whether JRPG soul is math or adaptation. And I'm not here to dunk on turn-based. Some of the best RPGs ever made are turn-based, and they're ones I love. But if we want to understand where the genre is going, we have to be honest about where it comes from. So let's look into it. Early JRPG combat wasn't just slow because it's tactical. It was structured, because it had to be. On 8-bit and 16-bit hardware, developers constantly fought constraints. Limited memory for animations and enemy sprites, limited CPU time for AI, collisions, and rendering, and extremely limited ability to stream content smoothly. So JRPGs solved the problem with a design that looks like tradition now, but was engineering back then. Freeze the world, move to a separate battle screen, use menus to minimize inputs and calculations, and keep everything readable, stable, and performant. Sound familiar? Battle transitions and loading screens weren't just aesthetic. They were seams, the hidden stitching that let the game switch contexts. Menus weren't boring. They were superpower. They made complex systems playable, teachable, and dramatic with limited tech. Now let's talk about the market shift, especially outside Japan. As JRPGs expanded in North America and Europe, they started competing directly with open-world action games, cinematic blockbusters, and always moving combat systems. In those markets, a lot of players don't enter an RPG looking for tactical patience. They enter looking for momentum, quick feedback, direct control, and a sense that skill and reflex matter in the moment. So when JRPGs aim for mainstream growth, there's pressure to meet players where they already are. This is the cultural friction point. Turn-based fans value planning, resource management, positioning and sequencing, and winning by understanding systems. Whereas mainstream blockbuster competition rewards instant feel, spectacle on command, fast iteration, and gameplay that's legible in 5 seconds on a clip. Neither is morally better, but they serve different consumption styles. This is also why iconic franchises increasingly reposition themselves to shed the slow stigma. Even if a game is deep, if it reads as slow, younger audiences raised on always-on action might never try it. So brands modernize their combat presentation, pacing, and camera language to say, this is not homework, this is hype. Turn-based combat often makes you feel like a commander, issuing orders, controlling the party, seeing the battlefield as a puzzle. Real-time action increasingly makes you feel like a warrior, reacting, dodging, timing, committing to animations and risks. And modern controllers amplify this with haptic feedback, adaptive triggers, sharper animation audio cues, and the impact language of action games, which many of you have heard at least terms before. When you perfect dodge at 1 HP, the emotion is different than selecting heal on a menu. Not better, different. Here's the other factor that didn't exist in the Golden Age: social media. Combat now has to be shareable, readable in a short clip, and impressive even to people who don't know the system. That's why character action DNA, flash, combos, cancels, launchers, finishers, bleeds into JRPGs. A stylish combo isn't just satisfying to play, it's content. Modern bosses are built for cinematic arenas, vertical movement, wide attack arcs, positional danger, and constant camera drama. A menu-based system can absolutely represent this, but real-time systems embody it. They let the boss fight become a dance, like spacing, angles, and timing in 360 degrees. So developers try to bridge the gap with hybrids, active time systems, real-time with command pauses, cooldown-based party skills, and AI-controlled allies with tactic settings. The goal is simple: keep momentum for modern audiences, while preserving decision-making for strategy fans. And this is where the genre starts taking hits from its own community. Veteran players argue depth is being simplified, strategy is being replaced with execution, and party management is being offloaded to AI. And to be fair, sometimes that criticism is valid. If your party members are mostly automated, the player may feel like the party is cosmetic, not tactical. But the counterpoint is also real. A modern fluid system can still be deep. Depth just moves into positioning, timing windows, buildcraft, cooldown sequencing, and risk management in motion. The question becomes, is that JRPG depth, or just action game depth wearing JRPG clothes? The trajectory looks like immersion-first design. Combat starts in the world, ends in the world, and uses the same movement verbs as exploration. No abstract combat loop, no separate dimension, just a world that keeps its promises. At the same time, pure turn-based doesn't vanish. It becomes prestige, like the film photography in the digital era. Not mainstream by default, but highly respected. For clarity, for pacing, for tactical expression, and for letting numbers and systems truly breathe. And indie studios can lean into it without needing blockbuster scale spectacle. So where does the soul of the JRPG actually live? Is it the math? The menus? The turn order? The resource systems? Or is it the willingness to reinvent itself? The drive to merge story, character growth, and combat identity? Or the ability to evolve alongside technology? Maybe the real soul is neither turn-based nor real-time. Maybe it's this. JRPGs have always been about translation, turning limitations into style, and turning systems into meaning. So I'll leave you with this. Turn-based combat isn't dead. It's a language. And languages don't die when they stop being the global default. They survive where people keep speaking them with intention. If you grew up loving menus, party micromanagement, and tactical patience, you're not outdated. You're part of a lineage that proved constraints can become art. And if you love kinetic spectacle, dodges, combos, seamless worlds, you're not shallow. You're responding to what modern games can finally do. But what's your ideal JRPG combat system? Pure turn-based, pure action, or hybrid that actually works? Drop your answer in the comments below. And if you want more deep dives like this, subscribe, and I'll be seeing you on the next step of our journey. Take care.